Hey everyone, welcome back. So admittedly, Ethan has been one of my biggest, um, one of my biggest, not role models, but I've been a big fan of Ethan and Ela for quite a long time. I watched them back when they were making their reaction videos. And honestly, uh, this is not. I don't want this to become a bash fest or you know, a video that I don't really want to talk down on people. But I thought Frenemies was for the most part a pretty good series, where of course Ethan and Trisha would go back and forth and discuss topics and things that were happening in the news and their personal lives and all that. But I really wanted to go over, what happened between them, and take a kind of a closer look and see, and review how each one of them handled themselves. And I know, I know Trisha has and struggles with, I can't remember what, but she's openly admitted, that she is, and in this part she talks about that she's in therapy, and I know she struggled with mental health problems, and I think that's really what went wrong here. Is like, of course Ethan, I can't remember if he, what his degree is in, or what. I know both of them have actually, I think Ethan has said he's still on antidepressants. But I guess the primary thing here, that I want to look over is, and really want to comment on, is what each one of them could have done better looking back. And we're not all, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us make the right moves in every situation. But when I was watching this, I watched this originally around the time it came out, a little bit earlier in the month of June, and I just remember thinking, I was really shocked that, Ethan didn't let, Ethan could have easily dropped the subject, and I really think that would have been better for both of them. And because I do think, Ethan, that they both openly talk about their struggles with mental health, and they were just both going at each other. I mean, it was a pretty, of course it takes two to tango, and it was a pretty, pretty rough back and forth. But it's hard to even pick a starting point to go at. Of course, most of the podcast was okay. They were talking about Gabby, and it's hard to even tell when to start. But I guess most of it falls apart in the last like 10 minutes of this episode. So I noticed something very, very early on here.
Oh shit! I talked about the same thing, but I feel like you're so angry about this.
I'm really.
So they had already, they had already kind of been devolving, and Trisha had been digressing. They were talking about how, it was already a negative on. They were already on a negative topic. Trisha was talking about how, they stick on this one particular topic, or Ethan will talk about a particular topic for too long and she'll get bored of it. And so you can see here in her face, like immediately, so Ethan calls her out, which, looking back and in hindsight was not appropriate in my opinion, or, that he should have at least let it go. She was clearly getting agitated. She was clearly getting annoyed, and you can see it in her face. I mean, she's smiling here. But this is not, when you're being called out, you have to take it in context. She's being called out on, being angry, and she retorts with a smile, which obviously, to me means that she's clearly, her face is just incongruent with her emotions, and you can tell, if you watch back, I don't want to, watch too much of this, because of course you can watch it yourself, but if you go back and, she was already agitated, and him calling her out, I believe, I just feel was the wrong move.
Really not, but it's so funny. Are. I'm not. I'm angry when you say something.
You need to admit when you're angry.
There it is again.
It's so funny. I'm not. I'm angry when
she's it's almost like a transmutation. It's like she's transmuting the emotion into something else. Oftentimes we can cope with things with, you'll cope with something sad with laughter, or you have a different sort of emotion, or you express something different on your face, and it's incongruent with what you're clearly experiencing or going through, or the emotion you're actually feeling.
When you say something,
she keeps smiling. She keeps smiling while she's talking when he's calling her out.
Admit when you're angry.
Ethan, I promise you, this is really is gaslighting. I go to a lot of therapy right now, and this really is. When I say I'm not angry, I'm not. I'm like just trying to tell you that you're like, oh, we do everything for the show, and I'm saying it's not always good. I'm not angry. If I was angry, I would like leave or something, but I'm not. But you telling me I'm angry?
It's tough to tell whether she's smiling or.
But it is like fresh.
It's tough to tell whether she's smiling or if this is actually contempt, because when your lips are pursed together and your one side lifts, that is a demonstration of contempt, but it's tough to tell again, because we're kind of looking at them from one angle.
Frustrating when you think you do all this work and like think, oh, we're doing all this great stuff, and it's like it's not that great sometimes. A lot of it is, and
so she's saying she's not angry again, but those emotions and what she's saying and the tone of her voice do not match. They don't match with what she's saying. She's putting her hands up. She's clearly exasperated. Her speech is very pressured. She's talking very quickly.
All the work you do and stuff like that, but it's also like not that great. I don't get input on like people we hire, like all this.
So he's, unfortunately we can't see his face dead on, but he looks like he's
like that. I don't get
sad right now, and she's basically tearing down everything that she everything that she's trying to tear down, everything that he has done for the two of them. I mean, really, this is a team effort, and it's so sad to see this go down this way. But
people we hire. Why would I ask you about people I hire?
Because it's frenemies, and you take the budget for paying.
And it's a very. I mean, he's asking like this question is almost rhetorical, and it's just more antagonistic.
The crew. That's what you told me. You take highlights. You take 5% to pay the crew.
No,
so why don't I get any input on the crew or what we do?
These are employees of our.
So why are you taking
company.
highlights and 5% of frenemies? You told me that it was to pay them. That they could be working
for production costs.
Okay, but you told me.
She's smiling. Here she is again smiling, which is just it's very incongruent with the way with the way that it's
at the beginning. You told me at the beginning it's more because you weren't. I forgot to tell you about the members. Like
I giving you 50% of all the members, even though we work and do all of the work. I don't know why you fight me on money. The deal you have is beyond reasonable.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys caught it, but Ethan did the exact same thing when he's explaining. Yeah, see, we can't see, here's the perfect frame, we can't see both sides, if it's a smile or a raising of one side of the mouth, but this essentially, again, signifies that he's either, he just is in complete disagreement, both of them are extremely emotional, and all the emotions that are flying back and forth here are just really negative.
But also
so he's smirking. I mean, it's almost like a smirk. It's a smirk mixed with like sadness and just like disbelief.
Like highlights, and then you weren't the membership I had to fight for because you weren't. I forgot to tell you about the members. Like
I giving you 50% of all the members, even though we work and do all of the work. I don't know why you fight me on money. The deal you have is beyond reasonable.
Okay.
And I saw a smile.
No, but I feel like a lot of frustration you have about everything with the...
Frustrated? When I'm bringing stuff up, you get defensive. I'm not frustrated. I'm pointing out these things because I would like to know.
Yeah, again, do you hear, she's repeating, she's not upset or frustrated, but she's very, I mean, the way she's behaving and her tonality and the things that she's saying do seem like she's very frustrated and upset with the deal that she has.
I just want everything to be a lot more transparent because I'm like, what are the production costs?
I can't be more transparent.
Can you show me all the costs of production
It's not like an itemized thing. We are doing the show. That's the cost.
So you don't think 5% is like enough for the producing the show? 5%
and the highlights was what we agreed to at the beginning, and that's what it is.
Oh my God. Okay, if you think that's what it's worth.
And again, Trisha is laughing. So this could be as simple as, it's just, they both think that the other side is really in the wrong, and so they're smiling to basically say, hey, this there's no way, this is sort of a joke, what you're saying to me is funny, it's laughable that you think this is correct.
Okay,
it's worth more than that.
And there's another smirk and one. I wish I could see their full faces all the time. There's a lot of incongruence if you just draw a line down the middle of her face. This seems like she's very, again, raising of the mouth on the one side is contemptuous.
To be honest with you.
Here's sadness. So one side, both the lips pressed together, and one side of the, one side of the mouth going down. And I can't tell if her eyebrows or if her eyebrows.
You're getting a very generous deal, and the sponsors that we work to get, right? We do all the work to bring the sponsors.
I mean, I had 50%. All of Adam and Eve for the first 20 shows. So I mean, I appreciate what you do, but don't.
I couldn't tell. Okay, so Ethan, I don't know if you guys saw that, but Ethan. Several times, Ethan. Yeah, I mean, I know he says that he has Tourette's. But Ethan several times rolled his eyes and pointed his eyes upward. I actually didn't see that the first time. Of course, in eye rolling, a lot of people will subconsciously eye roll. But it's really tough to tell if that's his emotional state. And honestly, your anxiety can trigger your body movements. A lot of people will move their fingers or fidget or do some sort of movement when they're extremely anxious. And so his Tourette's or his movement might be based on how he's feeling in the moment, or when he really gets stressed out. So it's really tough to tell, though.
I don't bring it. I brought.
Yeah, you brought Adam and Eve, and so that was one sponsor we worked with.
That's all we had for the first
And now we have tons of sponsors every episode because it takes time, obviously, to get the show up and pitching. And it comes down to, you get this extra 5%, and so
because
I think that's not.
I think the main point here is just. It's just that it's really sad to see a friendship and such a great thing. I mean, honestly, for her, see, this is where you can really see, I mean, the distress and the anxiety come into play, because in all honesty, I mean, neither of these people are hurting for money, you guys. They both live in LA, right? They both have mansions, they both have plenty of money. Their families are connected. Trisha is, has plans to marry or is married to Moses, that is Elah's brother. So it's just very sad to see this, this unfold and this, their relationship crumble based on a disagreement. I mean, she doesn't even state here. I mean, she doesn't really even state what she wants in return. What she's expecting. Both of these people are really well off.
Not what it is.
That's what you said.
So then that's. But I don't remember. But that's
gaslighting is telling someone how they feel, and you're telling me how I feel, and I'm telling you I don't feel frustrated or upset. So I don't know what.
I also don't. I don't think that is, I don't think that's gaslighting. Yeah, it's basically, yeah, that's not really what gaslighting means, but
what else that could be? How am I gaslighting you by telling you I'm not feeling this way? How is that gaslighting you? I'm not feeling this way.
Okay.
I wouldn't show up. I wouldn't come here. I would,
You listen. You can be upset and not because you could be upset and then also not be like, I'm not showing up. Fuck you.
I'm
like
not
there's
upset.
levels.
If I was upset, I wouldn't show up.
I'm just explaining. I'm just because
so,
you could.
At this point, yeah. I mean, like I said in the beginning, at this point, I really feel like, if this were me, I would have just, I would have stopped, because at a certain point, going back and forth, it's just not going to be productive in this environment when everyone's fired up. If Ethan wanted to continue, this podcast with her, yeah, I mean, you would really need to get a mediator and cool off. Like, everybody needs to cool off and renegotiate the terms if that's what Trisha really wants.
You can be upset and still show up.
But I'm not upset, and that's what gaslighting is, because you're saying I'm gaslighting you.
And so, I mean, it's really, I'm thoroughly confused, and I know Ethan was in this moment because, I mean, at its core, Trisha's actions and behaviors did not really match, don't really match what she was saying. She was saying, she repeated this over and over, that she's not frustrated, and she clearly is, and is unhappy with the terms.
You're not upset. You're perfectly.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, Ethan is now gone into a sarcastic mockery mode, where he's just he's just kind of rolling his eyes, rolling his body. His body language is very much dismissive of her, and Trisha again has this look of
perfect condition, right?
She's like, she's almost laughing at, she's sort of coping with what is going on by laughing.
Wow. Holy cow, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know how I just don't see what you just did. That's really.
What
crazy.
did I do?
We have to end it now. Like, really.
What the?
Yeah, and this is where
what did I do?
We gotta stop for real. Really. We
Okay.
need to stop.
But I really want to take a look at Trisha's other videos and talk about them, because I know that there's been a lot of fallout after this.
Please. Okay.
Whenever you're ready, you can walk away.
So.
Yeah, she's really, here you can see it much better. She's really saddened and frustrated. She's definitely definitely frustrated and sad here, as she kept denying.
No, because I don't want to title this.
It's the pizza curse.
Can we just edit it out?
I'm not going to title it
Trisha's
thing. It's the pizza curse. It is.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't have got pizza.
No, sorry, Ethan, but the pizza had nothing to do with it.
The pizza? Oh no, it was pizza. Trisha, let me just say, I'm sorry.
Ethan, that you just did that. You're right. You're
I don't know
right.
what I
Nothing's
just
wrong
said.
with you. But I go. You don't know how much therapy I go to a week. I go to 4
But
Zoom
Trisha,
sessions a
you
week.
can't-
No,
I understand,
Ethan,
but okay,
what you
all right.
just said was, "You're right, Trisha. Everything's fine." That's insane. Like, the fact that you did that to me is like
It's
insane.
not insane. We're friends.
was
We're
so
having
nice.
a friendly conversation. I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells around everything I say.
So I just wanted to add a little thing at the end of the video here, where I talk about, because I was really curious what it means when you smile and you're currently distressed. And basically I feel like there's quite a few reasons. One is anxiety, like we talked about. 2 is it's a coping mechanism. 3, it's something that someone is using to cover up how they really feel. So and of course it could be a mixture. Oftentimes there's just a mixture of those things. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna take a look at the other videos that Trisha has put out. I'm really interested to see what she says.